All right.
Today we bring you a motivational story. Obviously, you know our podcast is here to inspire, motivate, and provide information for student athletes and their parents. And one of our segments we really want to showcase is just motivational stories to share with student athletes that they're not alone in their struggles of being a student athlete. You know, we deal with a lot. Obviously, we deal with, you know, adversity and a whole bunch of different other struggles that may not be brought to the forefront all the time. So today, our motivational story is going to be based off of Kendrick, a.k.a. Kung Fu Kenny.
Kung Fu
Red.
Kenny.
He's my younger brother, and he just finished up his first professional year overseas. And, you know, we want to just highlight some stuff about him being a student athlete and transitioning into that, you know, the professional realm, and just talk about his story and where he's, you know, come from to get to this point today.
Absolutely.
Basically.
Absolutely. Definitely. And hopefully there'll be something that will come from this that, you know, will resonate with some people out there, and you could take it and use it as, use it as a motivational tale to help push you through wherever you're going. You know, that's what the premise of the show is for. You know, to tell our story, and tell other stories, to share our stories and share not just the hardship, but also advice on how we got through and got up over those hills and up over those hurdles to get to the promised land and reach our goals. And it's that whole, you know, it's that whole idea of we're not going to let anything hold us back. We're going to persevere and push through. And you need some talking points and some advice on how to get that done. And that's what we want to be, the oasis that you come to us for that. So, we're gonna start off with Kendrick. Kendrick has had one hell of an on ramp into his professional career. We may not even be able to get through all the hardships, you know, today, but we can probably start. I think it's probably best if we start from the beginning, and then, you know, as we, you know, get towards the current scenario where he's in now, we could probably, you know, speed it up and see how much time we have. But we gotta start from the groundwork. We gotta, you know, at least pull it back to high school. Let's pull it back to high school. Middletown High School is, you know, you attended Middletown. Before arriving there, they didn't have much of a basketball history or culture. And the league itself it's probably not the most prominent basketball league we get the best competition at in proximity to this area. So, or New York City, Northeast area. So what was your mindset going into high school? Because you're coming from the city, the inner city, so you've seen basketball at its highest level. And now you're going into an area where you're going to be kind of a big fish in a small pond. What were some of your goals, starting out high school, and then, you know, going into that junior or senior year, the latter part of your high school career when you guys won those championships? What would you say was your mindset and you know, goals you had starting out in high school, you know, prior to your junior and senior seasons?
You know, just coming from the city, you know, I came up to Middletown, you know, I wasn't really known out here like that, really. Oh, in the city as well, you know, I was a really underrated player out there, you know. But I just wanted to come and just establish myself, like my actually my whole high school career, I just wanted to establish myself, to let people know, like, who I am, how I could play, or stuff like that, you know. I started out freshman year, I started on varsity, you know. I got moved up, like, middle of the season to start on varsity. Basically, Coach Kelly was, like, giving me the keys from day one, my freshman year, to build that foundation that Middletown has now, you know.
So were you, your freshman year, sophomore year, were you one of the main focal points, or was there someone that you learned up under, or was it basically right from the beginning, you know, we're going to kind of we have something special here, we're going to kind of gear our teams towards this guy?
You know, it's kind of like trials and tribulations, you know. I had to learn on the way, you know. I didn't really have no older guys to like kind of look up to.
Yeah.
As far as being like a freshman and a sophomore on that team, So it was just like I had to go out there and then just take my battles, and just go from there.
Who would you say is the because what you're talking about, this scenario that you're talking about is actually what I would see as probably the majority of folks are in this scenario where they're playing in a unknown, a less prominent district for basketball per se, and they're basically this big fish in a small pond. They've got a lot of talent, but they're not in this hotbed of basketball. If you're not playing in New York City, LA, Chicago, Houston, Atlanta, if you're not playing in one of these top premier media capitals of this country, you're playing in a backdoor country, or outside of a major market. What's the hardest part of that? Because you don't have the scouts and the coaches flooding your games every day. You're not going to be on ESPN. What's the hardest part of playing in these smaller, less prominent leagues? And what's going to be some advice that you have for folks, the majority of folks out there, student athletes that are playing in some prominent, a less prominent league? The school's not known. The school's not ranked. They don't feel like they're getting those looks that they need to progress themselves to the next level. What do they have to do?
You basically pretty much answered the question yourself. There's not a lot of exposure for guys out here playing in small leagues and stuff. But I feel like you're good. So like if you're good, they're gonna find you. So it's like don't get too discouraged that you're not playing with the top teams in the state and all that, and not going to the right AAU tournaments and all that stuff like that. Because you stay true to yourself. You keep working hard. Somebody's gonna find you. That's pretty much what I've been through. I didn't play for the top high schools. I didn't play for the top AAU teams. I didn't really go on the Nike circuit and all stuff like that. I played locally. I never really been to all the EYBLs, the Adidas Gauntlet, Vegas. I never played in any of those tournaments. So that's kind of like what my dad instilled in me. He was just like, we don't need to be chasing all these other schools around like that because you're good. Somebody's gonna find you. So there's no need to get all caught up in like the rankings and hype and stuff like that.
Absolutely. That right there is even something within itself. I think that it was a big deal back when I played as well. And I can only imagine with social media now. How important is it or not important is it? And what's your perception on when it comes to these rankings and how the media reacts? Because the media is more involved in the grassroots career of these players now because we just have more media now. Yeah. We have more media, more people reporting on you. How important is it to pay attention to that? Or, how important is it to find that easy medium between how much you're looking at that and comparing yourselves to others or not? Where do you stand in that? Where's your...
rankings really don't mean too much to me. I wasn't a ranked guy coming up. So I just feel like, if you are ranked, it's good because it's a lot of exposure for you. But rankings can't save you inside those four lines you're playing in. So you're going to go against the top guys. That's where you want to put yourself in. There's a ranked guy going to be at that tournament. You got to try to go out there in that tournament and go at him because, rankings can't save you, And for example, I know a lot of guys. You probably watched college basketball this summer, and Colin Sexton, he was a guy that I actually worked out with for 2 years.
Yeah,
I worked out with him about 2 years in college. He wasn't really known, and he wasn't ranked at all coming into high school like that, his senior year and stuff like that. And we used to talk about it a lot. But then I told him just keep working hard and stuff. Everything's gonna forward his way. And you see now, he's gonna be a lottery pick this summer coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. How about that? Just got to keep your head down. You got to keep working. What's some things that, and you might have already kind of answered it, but what are some things that you have to do to see to it that you're bringing that attention to yourself because you're already in a position where you're kind of behind the eight ball. The attention's not going to come to you. So outside of just playing well, which I think is easier said than done, what are some things that you have to be doing personally to see to it that you are putting yourself in a position where you can't be denied?
Yeah, talk about what you Talk about your work.
I mean, you touched on
it
very, in a short time span about some of the work you did with Colin Sexton, but I'm sure it dwells much deeper than that. What are the things that you're doing, to personally develop yourself, to see to it that, that folks are going to, that you're going to get your just due at some point.
Just come with just staying true to yourself. I just want to say, like, when I was not playing and stuff like that, I had you guys, honestly, my family, you guys. That was always telling me just to keep working because it wasn't hard. It wasn't easy for me,
Oh yeah,
playing, not playing, and I just kind of like started to doubt myself and stuff like that. Like, I didn't think I was good enough because guys were like overlooking me. So, but you guys kept that confidence in me, And then after a while, I started getting that confidence on my own because I'm working out with you guys, and I'm working out and I'm seeing the improvements. Everybody's keeping my spirits high and stuff like that. So it's just basically like what you believe in. Do you believe in yourself, and do you have that supporting cast around you that's gonna tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear? So that's pretty much everything right there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So can you just talk about that year? Obviously, you graduated from Middletown High School, right? How did you get the offer from Quinnipiac at first? Like, where? Obviously, you said you weren't on the big circuit like EYBL and stuff. Yeah. What did you participate in that got you a chance to be looked at?
I went to this one hoop group camp, like all the top athletes go to, just for like a week or whatever. And it was the second session at first. And then I went out there, I worked out the whole summer for that. Okay. Went out there, I took everything by storm, All the top guys was there. I actually missed the first session where everybody in my class, all the top guys that's in my class was going to go. But I got hurt, so, I had to go to the second session. But when I got to the second session, I went out there and I did what I had to do. I made the top 20 All-Stars, and I was like the guy, like, who's this guy at the camp and whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's when I got my first offer from Quinnipiac and Wagner. Those are the only two offers I had going into college.
Quinnipiac and Wagner.
Yeah.
So, and are they both in the same league? NEC? They're both in the NEC league. So you have two NEC teams. After your senior year, after winning a championship, a sectional championship. So that's probably not exact. I know that's not ideal what you wanted, but you went in, obviously wanted to make the best out of that scenario and take it all the way. So you get to Quinnipiac your first year. What happens?
I'm playing a lot my freshman year, about 14, 15 minutes a game. Typical for a freshman.
And that was expected for you, like, based off your recruiting process. You came in, played 14, 15 minutes.
They had a senior guard there. Mm-hmm. So I basically went there to kind of like just learn the system and stuff like behind them. And then I thought coming to that second year, that's when I was gonna be like handed the keys for the.
Gotcha. What was that summer like going into that sophomore year?
So honestly, I didn't really pay no mind to it. I wasn't really working hard like I should have. So it was just like, because I knew that senior point guard was leaving. Mm-hmm. So I knew the spot was going to be mine. So I kind of took it for granted. I took that opportunity for granted.
Gotcha. Just let the foot off the gas a little bit.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So the sophomore season starts. Or even before the actual season starts, you got preseason workouts, you've got the individual workouts, you've got all the on-ramp to preparing yourself for the season. Is there any sign there early on that this may not go my way? Or was everything still on the up and up there?
Everything was still good,
Okay. So it wasn't until basically the start of the season where we see that we're not... you're not getting the same amount of minutes as you were the season before.
So as the season began, I kind of felt that I wasn't going to get the right opportunity to play because the first 2-3 games I think we played, I didn't get off the bench at all.
Wow.
So it was just like that hit me, and then I kind of put myself in the doghouse because I wasn't playing, so I kind of stopped focusing on school, and that's kind of that. That's what a lot of people really don't know about the Quinnipiac situation. I kind of put myself in a doghouse too, because I could stop worrying about school because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do on the basketball court, which is supposed to be the other way around. You're supposed to handle school first and then let basketball. So
it's a tough thing right there. It's a stressful situation because you're so emotionally involved in basketball. Not too many of us are emotionally involved in school. So, once that starts to slip away from you, it's like the whole world around you starts crumbling.
Yeah. I kind of took that for granted. Like, I didn't stop going to school, but I wasn't doing the minimum.
Yeah.
So that kind of put me in the doghouse. So, and then me and the coach wasn't seeing eye to eye. And then I got my grades back, of course.
Yeah.
But then it was just like, I guess it was too late. He kind of had who he wanted to play for that year or whatever. So, talk with your guys, my family, and we made the decision to transfer out to Kennesaw State.
So, and it wasn't as quick of a smooth transition from Quinnipiac to Kennesaw State. We're going to get into that next. So you stayed at Quinnipiac your second year. You stayed that half of the season, correct? So you stayed that first half. You basically transferred during the Christmas break. Was there any malice or was there any malice from Tom Moore and the coaching staff, or was there any plea to get you to stay? How did that conversation go?
Yeah, it was kind of surprised that I was leaving. The coach that recruited me, Coach Eaton, it was kind of shocking to him because he didn't really see it. Like, I learned from being around my brothers, my sisters, not really showing your emotion and stuff like that. So, like, it would just be like a regular day for me, like going into practice, I'm not showing no emotion. So they couldn't really tell, like, how I was feeling and stuff like that. Until I broke them the news, and they was just, like, also, like, surprised by it. So they was just like, why are you trying to leave or whatever, when I told them. So it was kind of...
You told them, I'm not playing. Yeah. Why do you think? You think I came here to be a cheerleader or what?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Did they make any last ditch promises about what could potentially happen the second half of the season or going into the following year? I know you probably weren't trying to hear it at that point. But any other additional promises they will make?
That was told to me, but my mom was already on transfer. I didn't want to stay there.
Gotcha.
I had to talk with coach. He was like, "Yeah, your grades is good now, so now I might." It's like we could probably start seeing some time in the rotation or whatever. But I just felt like it was. That chapter was closed.
Gotcha. Now you took a big leap because several student athletes fall into the scenario where they go to a school and it doesn't go as planned, and they've got to make an adjustment to their plan, and that is a big, huge step. And you took it without even necessarily knowing where you were going to go next. What was that like? You knew you were unhappy, but you didn't have a next step to get to. So there was this scenario. There was this big, at least for me, I had to imagine there was this big fear block, this big fear wall in front of you of how the hell I'm going to jump over this wall. What's on the other side? A big sense of uncertainty. What do you do in that situation? Like, what made you? You clearly weren't happy where you were at, but you didn't know what was next. What was the next step? What was that? What's that process like? And just being able to take that step and having the gall to take that step without even knowing what's on the other side.
Yeah, it was crazy because I didn't know where I was gonna go. So it was just like I was just gonna be at home. And I had Quinnipiac wanted to help, but they was kind of like pushing D2 to me. I don't get me wrong, D2 that's still good, but I felt like I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go back to D1. Even though going D2 I would have played right away, but I just felt that I could play.
Without having to sit out.
So they told me, I had a lot of D2 schools lined up to go to that next semester, but I didn't. I talked to you. I didn't want to do that. Because I felt I could play D1. So that's why it was really hard for me because I sat out. I was just at home not doing nothing.
So how long was that gap? We're talking. All right. So let's bring us. Let's make sure we have the timeline. You graduate Middletown High School in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Section 9 championship. You report to Quinnipiac for your freshman year for the 2012-2013 season. Freshman year, as you say, averaging about 14, 15 minutes, playing behind one of the guards. Summer of 2013 arrives. You take the foot off the gas a little bit. Now we're into the 13-14 season. So December of 2013, you go before the coaching staff at Quinnipiac. You tell them, I ain't happy here. Give me my fucking release. And you go ahead. From December we're in December of 2013. Now we're at the gap. We're at the gap period. December 2013. How long were you home for before you got the opportunity to, or at least the notification that you were going to go to Kennesaw?
I actually had 3 schools. I had South Florida, UMass,
okay,
and Kennesaw State.
Excellent.
And then what you got?
When did that? So I'm still in December 2013. You leave Quinnipiac. Now we're at Christmas break. Now we're in the January, the beginning of 2014. What's going on? We're at home. This is a stretch while we're home, right?
Yep. I didn't hear nothing about Kennesaw State until like the end of the semester, like March, April, the end of May.
End of May. All right. So we're talking maybe roughly 5-ish months. Now, did you have the UMass and the South Florida beforehand?
All heard.
All around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So for about a whole full semester, you're at home. No information, no updates yet.
Mm-mm.
What's going through your mind in that time?
Why did I leave Quinnipiac?
You were regretting your decision?
Yeah. Because it's not even that aspect of like not playing basketball. It's like I'm missing school. Like my school, I'm trying to get my degree and stuff like that. So, and I'm missing school. That's the main part. Missing school and basketball. And I was at home. I was at home doing nothing at all. Just working out.
Well, you weren't doing nothing though, right? I mean, I know you were definitely preparing yourself in some way, right?
But I just felt like everybody's at school and I'm home during the semester and stuff like that.
Yeah. It could be a heck of a depressing time. What do you have to say for the folks out there that might potentially go through the same thing? They've transferred, they have a gap semester or even a gap year where they have this uncertainty. What do they have to be doing to get themselves to that next step, to be able to take that next step to where they want to go? Where's their mind have to be at? It's not even so much even where they have to be at physically, because we all know you got to be getting in the gym, getting better, playing, working hard, playing competitive basketball, getting some competitive reps in. But where do you have to be at mentally? Because so much of this stuff is mentally
tough during that time. Like, because a lot of people will probably be like, you know what, I don't even feel like going back to school. Like, I don't even feel like dealing with this again. How do you stay mentally tough in that situation where you have 5 months of uncertainty and fear and you don't know where you're going to end up next? What were you doing to stay mentally sound during that time?
I just kept myself around you guys, I was always telling you, I know you probably see me in the house sometimes walking around looking like a zombie. Like, why am I home? And it's really, I can't really say it was me. It was part of me, but you guys kept me strong. Y'all were just telling me, like, just look at the bigger picture. You're gonna get back into school, so you don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's Daddy, Alan, everybody.
So the importance there is a great support system. You need a great support system to get through the trials and tribulations. And that's what a lot of kids need. You need to come from a great foundation. It's because going into the next step, you need the advice of other people. You need, I've had experiences where I was at school and I wanted to transfer at one point, being a freshman and not getting the playing time that I thought I was going to get. Because, in high school, you can get by. It's easy. Yeah. High school level, you can get by. But when you go to college, you're on the same playing field as all these other people. My recruiting class, there was 5 of us. Epiphany Prince was an All-American. We were all top 50 on the Adidas the Adidas rankings, even though rankings didn't mean anything to me, for real. I just had the mindset to come in and, you know, and play. But that didn't happen, you know, when I came into school. So a support system is something that is truly needed, and you know, you can't take that for granted, especially when you get to school, because things are not always going to go your way. All right, so we fast forward, you get to March, right? And
May, right?
May, and
Yeah,
you're hearing from these schools. So how was that process, or narrowing it down between UMass, USF, and Kennesaw State?
It was kind of, I mean, I went to 2 visits to Kennesaw State. I mean, UMass and South Florida, they really wasn't like biting on me, you know. They really, which goes to tell you, we played UMass at Kennesaw State, and I gave them 35.
Oh,
so
you had to put that in there.
So,
we didn't see that coming.
You know, but yeah, Kennesaw, they the only team that really wanted me. I went out there 2 visits actually.
Did you was Al Skinner there already recruiting you, or was that a previous coach?
It was a previous coach.
It was the previous coach.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I went out there, went for a workout, worked out with them. I did well, and they invited me back for an official. I went out there again with my father. I think it was TC, one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we went back there, and then from there, I knew I wanted to go to Kennesaw State. I knew that was going to be the right school for me to go and do what I had to do. Like, as far as like my individual goals, I wanted to go just to prove to people that I can play.
Wonderful. So when did you? So we're in May. You're narrowing down. You're making decisions. You are working out with Kennesaw State. When do you, I guess, officially sign on the dotted line or report to Kennesaw? Because we're in May, June of 2014 now.
Mm-hmm. Right? I went right out there for a summer session, right after school started. Right after school.
Gotcha.
Ended.
So you were reporting into summer session.
Yeah.
Now I know that there was even a rocky beginning to Kennesaw State. What happened then when you showed up?
That sit out year.
So you had to sit out a full year, but you were there in the summertime taking classes in summer 2014.
Yeah.
And now you only played a half a season at Quinnipiac that second year. So don't you only have to sit out like a half a season or something like that? Like how's the rule work?
Only if I would have went to school in December. Like if I would have went to Kennesaw that semester.
Oh, you mean reporting in January?
Yeah.
So because you were out, that basically is like sitting out a whole year.
Yeah, I wasn't in school.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So you sit out. So you basically did basically almost sat out 2 years.
Yeah.
Basically sat out 2 years because you played a half a season with Quinnipiac where you didn't play much, and then you were home the second semester, and then you report to Kennesaw State in 2014 for the 2014-2015 season, and you basically sit out that whole season.
Yeah.
So we go basically a year and a half. You say 18 months because you still count that half of that first semester with Quinnipiac, but we're talking 18 to 24 months of really non-competitive basketball play at the collegiate level.
Yeah.
Right?
It was tough.
That is tough. That's a hell of a gap. So many folks would have fell back into the sunken place and never been found again.
This is true. But I can say I knew that Kendrick was very focused during that span of time when he was out, because he came to me and told me, he was like, sis, like, I want to take it to another level when I actually do get an opportunity to play. And this is when he started really taking his health and making his health a priority. Like, you remember that week that you came and stayed with me in Maryland?
Yeah.
And during that week when you stayed with me, you know, we did basic stuff, you know, learned how to make a salad, learned how to grill some salmon, some chicken, learned how to boil some sweet potatoes. Like, I gave him basic recipes that he can use and take with him into school. And, you know, some people come to you and they ask you for advice and you give them the information. You don't really know whether or not they're going to take that information and go all the way with it. But when I seen that he was doing this at school and FaceTiming me and asking me how long do I keep the chicken in the oven and stuff like that, that's when I knew that he was really committed to being a great player. And that's when I knew that he was really going to take Kennesaw State by storm, because a lot of guys don't learn this or, really take their eating habits into consideration until they become professionals. So he was already starting to become a professional while he was already in college. And when I seen him take that step, I already knew that, you were going to take Kennesaw State by storm. And that's exactly what happened, right? We went into your junior year after you after you sat out for basically 24 months, and you just turned everything around. Like,
absolutely.
What were some of the accolades that we had that year? You were the most improved
newcomer of the year.
Newcomer of the year. Like,
won multiple newcomer of the weeks, and stuff. I mean, second team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talk about how you took my advice into school. Like, why did you feel that you needed the health component to go and make it, and make an impact? Why did you feel that way?
I just felt that taking care of yourself, not even just for basketball, just for your body in general. Not even if I wasn't playing basketball, I would have wanted to eat healthy and stuff like that. But I just felt. I knew it was going to take me to the next level, because I knew a lot of guys in college, they wasn't doing that because of the schedules we have. It's hard to eat, to cook for yourselves and stuff like that. Eating healthy, because we got a busy schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And then by time for us to eat, we only got about 30 minutes, an hour to eat. But, I felt that if I implemented that, eating healthy and all that kind of stuff, I would take myself to the next level, because a lot of guys, they wasn't doing it. They wasn't going to commit themselves to doing it. They might have done it here and there, but it wasn't going to really be consistent with it like that. So I felt that put me over the edge in Kennesaw State.
So we have a stellar, breakout performance your junior year, where now you're on the radar. You've arrived. Folks have to respect you. Is there anything, if you look back to that junior year, anything that you wish you could have done differently or improved on, even though you had a good? Even I think sometimes when we do well, we still don't look to see where where we could have improved that. Is there anything that you look back on and say, man, this could have been, I could have been better here, because it was really like your first time. I feel like there had to be some cobwebs or something. It was your first time getting back to competitive play in basically 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So because we see how going into the senior year, which we'll get to, next, the confidence, and it's really your team. Anything from that junior year that you look back on that you see that you could have done differently, or that was a nice solid year to build upon?
When I look back at it, I don't really think there was nothing I could do, because I didn't play for about 2 years, so I was so focused on getting back to playing, so it was just nothing was gonna get in my way, of me having a bad season or whatever like that. But I don't really feel that there was nothing I could have. Maybe going into my senior year, there were some things I wanted to do better.
So that was going to be the next question. Now, you have a solid foundational junior year, breakout year, continuing your career now after basically from freshman year or halfway through your sophomore year. So what do we have to do going into our senior year? What's the prep? And this is for anybody really going into their senior year. You're heading into your senior year. You've got your junior year behind you. What's the goals? And where's your mindset at? And what do you need to prove on now going into senior year to be even better?
So now, my junior year, if you don't know, I played with a guy named Yarnell Brown. We called him YB.
Mm-hmm.
And we was kind of like the 1-2 punch.
Yep.
My junior year. So now he's leaving. Mm-hmm. So now it's my senior year. I don't have him no more.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you're hearing now, oh, he can't have the same season like the junior season because the defense is only focused on him.
Wow.
Because he doesn't have YB with him now. So that was in my mind. going out throughout the whole summer while I'm working out and stuff like that. I just wanted to come out there and show that I can be, for my senior, be a better leader for my team, and we try, and go out there and just compete with everybody.
Wonderful. Facts. So you have an even better senior year. All the averages are up. You're even one of the top scorers in college basketball. You can look that up. 2017 Kendrick Ray, top 20 scorer in college basketball. First team all conference. What else? We just had. You had a great year. A year that folks had to see.
The most
wins in Division I history.
Wow, most wins for them. Wow, excellent.
We went the furthest in the
couple game winning shots. I've seen one. Yeah.
We went lost in the semis. That's the furthest they ever went in the conference tournament. Mm-hmm. So that was a big year for me because it felt that I couldn't do it again without
more doubters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was a big season for me.
Wonderful. So you graduate KSU. Now we have the whole post-collegiate experience where it's similar to your post-high school experience because you have to make these big business decisions to take you to the next level. Just like when you graduate high school, you got to select the school, you got to go through all these different coaches, you got to go on official visits, you've got to pull together, hey, what's the best place for me to be at academically, athletically, looking at the roster. So you're doing all that. Now, what are the boxes that we're checking post-collegiate career? What's the first 5 things you need to do?
First thing you need to get an agent.
Check the box.
You just get an agent, and now the agent is working for you.
What's that process like? Selecting an agent, and how tough is that to, because it has to be somewhat similar to selecting a school. I'll have to imagine where this is what's going to represent you.
Honestly, picking an agent is just it's like 50-50. It's because it's your first year.
What do you look for in an agency to say that's for me?
I feel like I do on how I pick. How consistent they are with you, contacting you, reaching out to my family. Family is a big part in decisions too. But I went with Pensac Sports.
Pensac Sports.
I had them. He contacted me from the game actually after we played UMass early in my senior year. And I just felt comfortable with him before. We flew out to California. He came to my game, watched me play. But I feel I was comfortable with him from the jump because, that was kind of like a big agency for me. I wasn't really getting any kind of big agent. I also had Mike's agency, JCK Sports, and based out of Atlanta. But Ben, I knew I wanted to be with Ben since that first game UMass. I seen his clientele, all the lists he had and stuff.
Who else does Pensac Sports represent out there that's prominent?
They got Chris McCullough now. They got Chris McCullough.
DeAndre Bembry, so.
Bembry, Atlanta Hawks.
Bembry.
Russ Smith out in China right now.
Hey, my man. Shout out to Russ. Baby Russ.
Representing
Russ Dickulous.
Nick Collison.
Nick Collison. Okay.
He has a lot of guys, but I can't think of them.
And probably a whole bevy of guys overseas and everything, correct?
Yeah, so I was comfortable with them. That was a crazy summer for me too. Cause I'm trying to get into the NBA. Same old stuff again. I'm hearing.
There we go.
He can't. Why?
What's the biggest? I want to know. Yeah, go ahead. Cause I want to know what's the biggest doubts that they had about you coming out of college. There, what would be the biggest doubts? What were some of the doubts they had about you? All the things they told you can't do.
I'm undersized 2 guard.
Undersized 2 guard.
So they just felt that I couldn't really play a 2 position in the league. But I feel like I'm a combo. I can play both. But I am a point guard. It's just everywhere I went, I played. I was kind of put into that 2 position role because I can score so well.
I was gonna say, is there a a certain stigma around a guard that can score and shoot that goes along with him not being that good of a point guard or not being I feel like if you're a score first guard who can shoot, then they almost it almost discredits your point guard ability. It kind of contradicts it in a way, because a point guard in most folks' frame of reference has got to be a pass first kind of a guard, and a guy who is constantly getting his teammates involved and finding the right look. So if you're a shoot first kind of guard, I feel like that kind of works against you. Is there any truth to that, or is that?
I mean, I don't think so.
Okay.
I feel you can use being a scoring point guard to your advantage. The teams are going to try to focus on you, bring double teams to you and stuff like that. And if you're the point guard, you're forcing a lot of attention to yourself. So that gives you opportunities to create for others and stuff like that. But that doesn't really. I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Great. Excellent. So we have this whole process, and I remember this vividly because now this brings us up to last summer, which is the summer heading into your first professional season. So you've got your agency locked down, and now we're trying to get the workouts. The workouts aren't coming. Somewhat the same way that the scholarships were, right? Mm-hmm. So, what did you do? What did you tell yourself? How did you stay positive and motivated to push yourself through that? Where you answered the call. You had a great career at Kennesaw State. Put yourself into the ranks with some of the best scorers in the country, and now you're still not getting your just due. You're not getting the looks that you want to be able to progress your career to the next level. What are you telling yourself to see to that you're still staying on track?
At that point, it wasn't nothing for me because I didn't been through that already with Quinnipiac. So it was nothing to me because, and plus playing in college, I played against all the guys they had ahead of me in the draft boards, and I killed them. So it was just like, I know what I'm capable of. I think I just need the right opportunity to showcase what I can do. But that summer, I didn't get no workouts at all. So it was just like, I didn't really get too down about it, That just was more motivation for me to go in the gym and attack what I needed to attack to get ready for my rookie season. So.
Excellent. So we're going through the whole summer. We don't get what workouts did we get? Because I know you did head out to Cali for.
Yeah, we had a pro day in Cali.
Yeah. Did well there. How did the Czech Republic come along?
I had a few offers actually from like two teams, Latvia and Czech Republic, the Nürnberg team.
Mm-hmm.
But they came, they took a chance on me. My agent was kind of like talking to them, but they took a chance on me. At first they wasn't trying to because I'm fresh out of college and they don't really like taking first year guys over there. But they kind of like put me into the same position as Chas and Randall. He played in Nürnberg.
Who's that?
Chas and Randall. He used to play for the Knicks.
Okay.
But he played in Nürnberg after his senior year in college. And they kind of like put me into that same situation. Bring up a college guy coming into there. But I fit the offense. There was a run and gun type of team. Athletic guys.
Definitely.
Shooters, everybody. Kind of like the overseas Golden State Warriors. We just run all day and shoot threes in 8 seconds or less.
Oh my God, some of them, 8 seconds or less, 10 seconds or less, Definitely.
They came out, so I got out there. It wasn't easy at first, because I had, the coaching and stuff. They was kind of trying to college to the pros was kind of difficult because the physicality, being on my own over there.
I always say this too. I hate to cut you off, but you're nailing it right on the head, and I want to break down the physical part of it. Is that when you go from high school to college is a confined system where you're playing against guys that are within 4 years of you.
Yeah.
You're not going to play against a 30-year-old in college. You're going to play against a guy that's 22, 21, 20, 19 years old. Your body's not fully developed. You don't have your man body yet. You go professional, guys have their man body. They're playing against guys 30, 35 who've been playing professional basketball for 10 years. They're veterans. They're experienced. And they're not going to let a 19-year-old kid come in there and kick their ass, man. The physicality which you speak of is, I mean, it is a huge leap in bound going from college pro than it is from high school to college.
Yeah, it definitely is.
What do you have to do that first year to make sure that you're making an impact, man? How do you come around that learning curve? You know, especially when you're overseas, man. I really need you to dive into this, Kendrick, because there is so many mental games that they play. There's so many stuff that the folks out there that don't know. Guys have not played or even traveled outside their own state, so let alone to another country. I really need you to go into this in detail on what you need to do that first year to come around that curve as fast as possible.
It's just more about, now in the professional level, just paying more attention to details. How you can get like certain things how you want it and faster, or like, you know, guys are more physical in there, so you gotta attack quickly and stuff like that. I just felt I paid attention more to the game when I was there because of the physicality. You know, I didn't let guys like try to bump. You know, guys, you know, they're gonna try to like bump you and stuff like that, but you gotta use your game to an advantage out there, because they're gonna get physical with you, especially being American out there. You know, you fast, you eventually naturally faster than them guys over there, built bigger than them, so they're gonna use everything they can to stop you. Even if they gotta foul you, trip you, whatever they gotta do to stop you, they're gonna do it, and they get away with it more over there.
What's your regimen when you're overseas? You know, outside of practice, because you got to go to practice, you got to go to games. That's the stuff you're scheduled to do. What are the non-scheduled activities that you're doing to see to it that you're staying a step ahead?
You know, just the same stuff I've been doing like in college. Staying in the weight room, staying in the gym, getting in the gym when I can, and just getting up a lot of reps and staying sharp. Because, you know, overseas is hard over there because you can't get into the gym whenever you want. Just like in college. College, you can go to the gym in college 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, whenever you want. But overseas, no, you gotta. It's volleyball. It's on. That gym is used for everything. Gym is used for basketball, karate, volleyball,
aerobics,
everything they gotta do to use that gym. They gonna use it. So it's hard out there, especially. It's like if you're in a slump. So I was in a slump one time out there. You can't get into the gym. You know, you just gotta play through it. I remember I texting Brittany like, Brittany, I cannot make a shot right now. Like, it's been like 5-6 games. I couldn't make a shot. And then and I can't get in the gym to fix it. So you gotta play through that.
That's crazy. And that's what like kind of forces you to pay attention to detail. You know, the advice that I was giving him then is to look at the mechanics. Like, look at your games and what are you doing? Like, are you not following through? Are your shoulders not square? Are your feet too together? Are they too separate? Like, this is when you become, like he said, you pay a lot more attention to detail. You pay and you start becoming a lot more invested in your craft. And that's what it is when you're on the professional level. You start paying a lot more attention to detail and the little things. A lot of people, take for granted the little things. It's a big deal because you can get exploited on the professional level because, like we said, the physicality is changing, the speed is changing, especially, when you're a professional. Everything is fast forwarding. Everything is moving a lot faster. So yeah, definitely. I definitely had the same experience. You can't use the gym all the time, and you got to do other stuff. Like, you got to do, make sure you're recovering because they're not going to do that for you. Making sure you're getting your ice and stuff like that. And talk about your experience being overseas. Like, how was that? Like, your first year overseas, there's a language barrier, maybe, When I was overseas in Belgium, they spoke French, and I couldn't really communicate that well. Thank goodness I had a teammate on my team that spoke both languages. She spoke English and French, and she was helping me out. Did you have that experience? Did your other teammates, kind of like help you out? Like, who was a mentor on your team helping you get through, learning how to live overseas? Who was that for you?
Basically, the main guy was Eugene.
Gino.
Lawrence. Yeah.
Shout out to Gino Lawrence. St. John's. Brooklyn.
He kind of put me under the wing, showed me the ropes and stuff like that. And because he's been playing there for about 4 years now.
Okay.
So he knows the city like back of his hand. We actually call him Check now. He's not from New York.
Call him Check. Hey, you losing your Brooklyn blood, bro? You have Check.
But yeah, he kind of helped me a lot.
That's
off the court and back on.
Thank
the
you,
court.
Gene.
So I appreciate him a lot for doing all that stuff for me. But it was really tough in the beginning. Just being out there for my first time.
Yeah.
Not having no
you gotta
family.
shop it for yourself and do all of that.
That was the worst.
Yeah, you driving, right?
Yeah, I just started driving going out there.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and they drive crazy overseas too.
It's an accident every day.
Absolutely. Wow. Okay.
Awesome. So we never got to the funnest part. Now we've kind of made it out the dark. And we see the light now. Let's get into all the amazing things that we've accomplished this season. Because you had all these doubters. You had all these doubters in high school. You had the doubters when you got to college. You had the doubters when you got out of college. Now, you even had doubters going in somewhere into your first professional season. Where are we at today, man? What are some of these amazing things that we accomplished this season to shut the doubters up?
I won Czech MVP. We won Czech championship. I made, first team all Czech on the regular league and the foreigners. Champions League, second team.
Uh-oh.
I think.
No, I'm listening. I'm saying, yeah.
That's it. Made it to the Elite
But that's not it. That's not it.
Elite 8 in Champions League.
Yeah.
That's not it. We talking about you got an MVP. How rare is it to get an MVP of a professional league in your rookie season?
Coming off
the bench.
Coming off the bench.
He didn't even start.
Averaging only 17 minutes a game.
Yeah, that was surprising to me, But
we'll talk about that though, because this is the psychology, and I'll tell you this: what you went through, Kendrick, and this is really important. I really want to dive into this a little bit for a second, because, and this is what this show is for. Because a lot of our folks, this is a show for past and present student athletes, and wow. That is too funny now. I do have to pause this. Dude Allen called he called Eugene Mr. Commodore. He said he looked like Mr. Commodore. We might have to put up a side by side split photo with Mr. Commodore and Gino. That's a good one, Allen. That's a good one. All right. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I wanted to dive into this because there is so many guys, and I played at Pitt, and so many of our, great players, coming out of a top conference. You go to Pitt, you go to these top Big East, ACC, SEC schools, Big 10, Big 12. Anybody within that top five, those top five power conferences. Players coming out of there are high quality ballers. Even the guys that are on the bench. There's guys that were on the bench at Pitt that are still playing basketball today, 10 years later. Still playing basketball today, not a problem, because you're getting this high caliber quality athlete, even the guy that's on the bench. But here's the thing, because I really want to get at this point here, because this is something that a lot of guys fall into, because we are living in our American world, and basketball is huge over here, in the way that we draw fans to games and the way that we pay players here is different than the way things work around the rest of the world. And around the rest of the world, the best players may not get on the floor, especially if they're foreign. There is the way that they pay players is through sponsorships, and the sponsors want to see their people on the floor. They don't want to see foreigners on the floor. Can you imagine if you came to an NBA game and there was a bunch of Asian guys, there was 10 foreign Asian guys on the floor? You'd be like, where's our American people? So there's a lot of guys fall into this. A lot of guys get put in a scenario where they're good enough, they're capable enough, they're better than some of their teammates, but they're not playing, or they're getting pulled out of. They're not playing as much as they want to be playing. They're not getting the acclaim as they want to be getting, and that makes them think. That puts them in a position where they feel like they're getting screwed, which they are, and that also plays into their motivation, their attitude. And I've seen so many guys go off the deep end where they get overseas and they get that bad reputation as that difficult American to deal with, or that difficult player who's not team oriented. And before you know it, they start getting basically somewhat blackballed out of FIBA, where it becomes harder and harder for them to get another contract just because of the spits and spats they had with their coach in their first year or their first couple years. How do you get through that? How do you maintain a good attitude, your professionalism, and just understanding that whole situation that even though I'm better than this guy, I may not play over him? Because that's really hard to conceptualize here in America. If you're better than that player, there is just a great chance that you're going to play over him. Mm-hmm. I mean, we deal with politics here, but the politics overseas it's almost off the charts.
I mean, like you said, that's just along with being a professional. Some things you might not like, but you gotta look at the bigger picture. You providing for your family and all that other stuff. So I mean, it just all goes with just being a professional. Taking it on the chin, and just use it as motivation. Just going to practice, work hard every day, and then when you get your shot, just take advantage.
Is there ever a point that you had a talk with your coach to ask him why this is going on? Did you just kind of already figure it out and understand it on your own? Is there ever, or do you advise to have a conversation? Is this something that a conversation can change?
Yeah, it can. A lot. It changes a lot, especially over there. Me being my first year. And I was I was going through it too. I was playing behind somebody. They had an American guard there. I was playing behind them. Him and coach didn't see eye to eye or whatever. So they ended up getting rid of him. So after they got rid of him, the coach brought me into the office. This is like my first couple months when I'm going through like a little slump. I still didn't figure out the pro game yet. So, and then he brings me into the office. We talk for about 30 minutes. And then after that talk, that's when everything started to fall. You see how I started to play good and stuff like that. So he told me, the one thing he told me that stuck with me, he told me like the faster you learn, the faster your career is gonna go, and the slower you learn, the slower your career is gonna go. So and then he told me that, that's when I started to start paying attention more to my game and stuff like that, seeing how I could score. And then
that was gonna kind of, it's going to be a great segue into my next question, which would be, how do you produce? I mean, you almost mastered the art of producing,
being efficient,
and efficiency. Like, how do you become more efficient? What's the juice? What's the silver bullet to becoming efficient? How do you manage to be so productive in just 16 minutes of play? Guys need 8, 9, 10 minutes to warm up. Or what do you tell them? What do you need to be doing to be sure that you are efficient and productive in just a short period of time?
I don't know. I'm just taking what I'm given. When I'm out there, just making the best of it, because you don't know when you're gonna get out there again. So I just try to go out there and give it my all. Yeah. So.
But I also think you study a lot of film too.
Yeah, I watch a lot of film.
He watches a lot of film, and that breaks down your game. That shows you the different spots.
And the film I was watching, and the way our offense was ran, so I'll watch the game, and then I'll know like where I'm gonna get my shots. I know where I'm gonna get my shots in the game, how I'm gonna get them. So like I kind of like during the game, that's where I will go to like those spots, knowing where I'm gonna get the shots and stuff like that. Calling the plays, I know that when I go out there, I could score off that play. So, as you can see, you guys.
That's strategy right there.
Rewind that. If you watched our games, what I was doing, calling pick and rolls, and getting that switch on that big man.
Yeah. Yeah. And then attacking, dropping it off, or attacking it and bringing it all the way.
Yeah, film is very important, especially when you're in college. And now they have so many different apps for college athletes to look at their films.
Absolutely. You see, this thing did it again. Hold on. I think that it kind of like goes for 30 minutes, and then you gotta redo it again. You know what? Actually, now that we have a short break, I do kind of want to switch this real quick. I want to see if I put this up here. Excuse me. If I get a little bit more of the room in here.
Pressed. I'm like, I can't do this. I gotta come back home.
You can just say the same thing.
Yeah, it's like you would think. Oh yeah, I got my own apartment, blah blah blah. But you ain't got nobody to do anything with. Like you get tired of doing stuff by yourself. It's like, and then
teammates,
huh? I mean, yeah, my American teammate, but she had her girlfriend with her. So how many times am I gonna third wheel with them on, our adventures? Like, I got tired of that. Like, and then like the time difference, with your family, you 6 hours ahead. Nobody's up. Everybody got to go to work in the morning, so you over there on your computer all day, like watching and streaming stuff. So it's a whole bunch of like mental factors that go into it. It's just like sometimes you just get drained. Like you're done.
You want to see him instead of?
Huh?
What time?
What's up?
I'm about to come get you in a few. Like 1 to 11.
I was doing this talk thing. Yeah. How much time we got? Cause we know we taking up your day here. We we kind of are in the middle of close of
I'll be over there in like 20 minutes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
We begin to wrap it up.
Probably leaving around 5.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. We gonna where do we leave off at? Huh?
Just talking about film and being able to,
all right,
pick how you be efficient. How efficient are you?
I think every 30 minutes or something like that or whatever. All right. We back, y'all. I think that with the live story, you go like 30 minutes or something, and then they or 40 minutes or whatever, however long it is, but there's a time limit on how long you can go. And
then, got about 10 minutes left.
And then they cut you. So here we are. We back. We're back. All right. So we were just talking about watching film, the importance of watching film, and seeing so that you're breaking down the details and really getting more grainier with your career, so that you can progress it further. So
yeah, basically just paying attention to detail, knowing your spots.
I love that you see that you were working on specifically taking shots the shots that you were going to get in game, real game shots, like that you get at the actual end of plays.
So because a lot of guys, they go in the gym and just do stuff.
Yeah, take a bunch of standstill shots.
But you gotta work on the things that you're gonna be doing in the game. So that's what I kind of. And I know I have a few spots on the court where I know when I go to that spot, I'm gonna make that shot. So that's more of it. You can explain how being efficient was this year. I just go get to my spots and then go knock down that shot. And I have it.
Excellent. So, I mean, fantastic rookie season. I know that we're already getting pressed for time. You gotta go ahead and get to doing what professionals do here. But very, very, very impressive rookie season. I mean, it's arguable that you were the best rookie in Europe this season. Is that conjecture there?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Playing in Champions League.
It's arguable that this guy right here that we're sitting next to was the best rookie in all of FIBA this past season. It's a debatable point. And that's coming from a position where literally we didn't have the professional looks that you wanted coming out of college to now just 1 year later where you're putting yourself in a position where you can choose among many options. So I feel like every summer, let me ask you this, from your position as a player, do the goals change? Does the mindset change from summer to summer? Because I feel like the way we've told this story, right? The summer, going into your first year at Quinnipiac, you were in this place where you had to grind, work, boom, and trying to get a scholarship. And then the summer going into, when you were transferring your gap year, you're grinding, you're working, you're trying to stay focused, trying to keep your mind in the right place, stay positive, stay motivated. And then the grind and during the summer going into your first professional season, somewhat the same thing. Are the goals changing throughout the years? The mindset changing? Is it still the same? Because I feel like even though we're taking these big steps forward, what's the plan this summer? How do you continue to keep pushing yourself and staying? I'm not sure if I'm even asking the question the right way, but is there anything changing, or are we kind of in the same place mentally, but trying to move somewhere else physically?
It's always the same approach for me. Now basketball, this is my job now, so now I feel like now I'm a professional, so now I have to do more than what I've been doing. So this is actually my first summer where I don't have to go to summer school and do all that school stuff. So now it's
all basketball.
I have all basketball now, so I don't have to worry about going to school and stuff like that. So now it's more focusing on doing 2 a days. Now this is when you got to start getting massages, getting your body done, taking care of your body, because you trying to play for as long as possible. So you got to take care of the little things now. Like I said, just on the court, you got to pay attention to details. Off the court, you got to pay attention to the details. So that just goes for that. I got the same approach this summer. Just want to get better at everything that I possibly can control, what I can control, and then just take care of my body.
There we go. Excellent. That is that's what we want. Any last bit of advice, man, for your fellow student athletes out there? Folks are gonna be. This is a big summer for everybody. Every summer, if you're playing basketball, you're playing this sport. Every summer, you need to be looking at it as an opportunity to develop yourself, to take yourself to the next level. It's the only opportunity that you really have for yourself, and it's on you. There's no one that's going to make you work over the summer. It's your own time to really personally develop yourself. So for everyone else out there that's heading into the summer, you got folks out there getting ready to play AAU. You got folks out there getting ready to sign their first agent and and get ready to start working out. We got NBA combines that just passed. We got the draft will be in the next few weeks. So guys are getting ready to take their step into their professional career. Any last bit of advice for them heading into that big life changing experience that they're about to have?
Don't the same old stuff they probably been hearing for their whole careers. Stay true to yourself, work hard, and just don't let nobody force you into decisions that you don't want to do. Like, make sure you make decisions based off of how you feel, and not off somebody else or how they feel. Just make sure that's what you want to do. Because I know there's a lot of guys doing things because of somebody else putting stuff into your ears. Keep your circle small. Stay with the same people that been with you forever. Like, don't start making new friends and stuff like that. That's where everything.
Don't switch it up.
Don't switch up on the people that have been there for you for the longest. That's when everything starts to go downhill. So.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Well, hey, we appreciate you joining us here on the FMPO show and providing us with your story. I know it's not the most prettiest picture, but it's your picture that you're continuing to illustrate for yourself here. And folks really need to hear about things like this because we. As players, we look at some of the best players. We look at Kobe and LeBron and these guys, at how great they are. And the majority, 99% of us, are not going to have a career like that where we are the top player and all the opportunity and options are at our feet for us to choose from. A lot of us are going to have careers in the sense where we are going to have to work for every opportunity and option that we even get. And we're going to have to script and scrape for it. So I really appreciate you sharing that story with us because you're finally, you've been on your grind for a long time. And you're finally starting to get your just due. Let me ask you before you head off, because one thing I would say that you do have to be conscious of is that when you finally start to see a light at the end of the tunnel, you don't take the foot off the gas again. Because I think that you saw that light at the end of the tunnel going into your second year at Quinnipiac that some of the stuff was going to be a given. That you're going to play, the team is going to be yours. And now you're in this position where you've had a great year. You return to check next year. It's basically going to be, the platform is going to be laid out for you. If there's another option, that presents itself in the ether of the universe, you can see that it can only go and be better from here. How do you stay grounded, stay humble, and stay just as hungry as you were before and as you have been?
For now, playing professional it's kind of, it's not, I don't want to say it's easy to stay focused, but it's like you're more in tune because the biggest thing with professionals now, they can cut you. So it's just like if you're not doing your job, they can easily snap a finger, find somebody else to.
But what about your contract?
Come and replace.
What about that contract you signed?
That
doesn't mean nothing. No way.
They'll buy you out right in a minute. But yeah. Like, they can easily find somebody else to do their job, do that job that you're doing for them. So don't get too high, don't get too low. Just stay level.
Excellent.
Because you can lose it all in the blink of an eye.
In the blink of an eye. Bam. All right, excellent. Chef B. Remy, you have any last words, shout outs?
I just again want to say thank you to Kendrick for being here and just sharing his story. This is what we're going to be doing moving forward with the FMPO show, trying to give you guys some real life advice and experience. Like Austin said, everyone is not a Kobe or LeBron, and they're not going to have all the opportunities laid out for them. So this is a chance for you to get some real-time action with some real-time people that you can actually touch and see, So again, thank you for tuning in today. We'll be back on soon, hopefully with some more information, motivation, and inspiration for you guys.
Absolutely.
And that's a wrap.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, and coming up on our next shows, man, we should have our other brother, Young A-Ray, in the building. We gonna bring our cousin, Keith Dollars. You know what I'm saying? Future starting guard at Iona Prep, or future Division I player. You know what I mean? So it's all gonna be happening coming at you here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. And we out. FMPO show for motivational purposes only.
Peace.
Now the video don't want to end.
Oh no!
Alright. Well, we gotta say what's going on over here.
Yeah.
FMPO for motivational purposes only.
That works almost.